Guys, what's up? Today's a beautiful Sunday here in my backyard, and I was shooting my bow. I thought I'd show you my bow today. This is a Mathews Helium. It's the best bow that I've ever owned. It's a 60-pound bow. It has a 27-inch draw length, which is important to me because I'm a small guy. I'm 5'5", 5'5.5", you know, and 150 pounds soaking wet, so draw length is kind of an issue for me, and a lot of the larger bows harder for me to shoot. This one kind of fits my stature, and it's light. They don't call it the Helium for anything. It's a very light bow. I don't know what it weighs, but it's very light. I've got a Trophy Ridge adjustable sight, and when I'm deer hunting in the woods in my tree stand, I keep my sight pin at 20 yards. I hardly ever shoot at anything beyond 30, 35 yards, right? And if it's up close, well, there's no problem. But I don't want to have to adjust my sight when the opportunity arises. I just want to be able to come to full draw and shoot. So I keep it on 20 yards, and I know where my limits are. I've got to take my rangefinder, right? And I range different trees in different spots. And I know if the deer is beyond that point that I shouldn't shoot there because it's too far away. But I enjoy having the adjustable sight. I like shooting a long way. Sometimes I like to shoot out to 80, 90, 100 yards. I've got target arrows and I've got hunting arrows. My target arrows are really light. I shoot the full metal jacket target arrow with a 100 grain field point. But I don't ever use those for hunting because they're too light. When I'm hunting, I use a gold tip. I've got a gold tip arrow. It's a 250 grain arrow. I use a 100 grain brass insert. Okay, this gives it a good weight in the front. And 125 grain woodsman broadhead. It's a 3-bladed, one-piece broadhead. It's a good sharp broadhead. It's what I use. It's what I like. It's dependable. I learned my lesson the hard way. And unfortunately, nobody learns these lessons in a vacuum. Others suffer. And in my case, it was an elk that suffered. I've been elk hunting. I don't know, I've been elk hunting with my bow 6 times, and I went on elk hunts with my rifle out in Wyoming and Colorado. And I shot a bull elk that I wasn't able to recover because I made a poor shot on the bull. Which was my fault. I shot an arrow that was too light, which was my fault. I shoot expandable broadheads that weren't effective on a heavy boned and a heavy skinned animal, which is my fault. It was all my fault, and I learned from that lesson. But you know, it still doesn't help the elk, right? The elk is just as injured and wounded. I saw the bulls feeding in a meadow, and I had hiked up alone. I was hunting by myself in Colorado. And I hiked up a mountain to an upper meadow, and I saw 2 bulls feeding in that meadow. I ranged the bulls at 40 yards, and I adjusted my sight. And I thought I would just stand by and watch and see what unfolded. So I put my backpack down and put my face mask on, and I got myself in position where I thought I could make a shot. And it looked like they were going to turn. They started to turn and go away, so I pulled out my cow call, and I gave a few cow calls. Real soft and sexy cow calls, and man, they responded right away. They turned right around and came right in. I mean, faster than I could react. And it really threw me off. It kind of threw me for a loop. I came to full draw, and the first bull that came by was not a legal bull. They have to have 4 points or better on one side, or have a good long 4-inch brow tine. The second bull had double brow tines. One side was 5, and the other side was 4. Good legal bull. So as he came by at about 15 yards, my bow was set at 40. My sights were set at 40. And I was flustered, okay? And I shot that bull. And the arrow entered the bull where I call no man's land. It was above the lungs and below the spinal column. And I was shooting light arrows and shooting expandable broadheads, which are really ineffective on such a big animal. I learned this by watching a guy on YouTube named Troy Fowler. He's got a YouTube channel called The Ranch Fairy, and he promotes heavy arrows, heavy broadheads, and I think it's probably the way to go. But I spent the next 4 days searching for that bull. I followed a blood trail that afternoon all the way up the mountain, trying to find my bull, and was unable to recover my bull. The next day I went into that same mountain to continue my search, and my bow has this magnetic quiver. This quiver is made by Apex, and it's a good quiver. There's really nothing wrong with it. It goes on there, and the magnet holds it in place, right? But you've got to be careful, because when you're walking, brush can pull your quiver off, and that's exactly what happened to me when I was in thick cover. On the second day of me trying to find my bull, and the quiver fell on the ground, and it was hours before I discovered it, right? I was just walking through the timber looking for my bull. I got back to the upper meadows late in the afternoon. I looked at my bow and I said, oh no, my quiver's gone. And I had lost all my arrows, my broadheads, my quiver. Never mind the money, it was just like adding insult to injury. My circumstances went from bad to worse. I had some extra arrows. I had a little quiver that I clipped on my belt. But this is my go-to quiver, right? This has got my go-to arrows in it. And I had lost them. But like I said, I had searched for 4 days. I shot my bull on a Tuesday. I lost my quiver on Wednesday. I spent all day Wednesday, all day Thursday, and Friday searching for my bull. And of course I was looking for my quiver too. You know, I went through some of the areas where I thought I might have lost it, but trying to find a quiver on a mountain where you didn't really know where it came off would be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, right? I was just about ready to give up. We were going home. It was Saturday morning, and we were going to be leaving on Sunday morning, and it was the last day of the hunt, and my hunting buddies were trying to get their bull, and we all hunt by ourselves, and I was by myself looking for my bull. And I was up there in the timber, and I was ready to give up and head on back to camp. And I looked on the ground, and there I was, you know, surrounded by cover and trees and foliage, and like finding a needle in a haystack. And I was standing, and I looked down, and there was my quiver laying there on the ground. I wasn't really even looking for it, just there it was. I said, oh wow, my quiver. I reached down, I picked it up, and I put it on my bow, and when I put it on my bow like that, the good Lord spoke to my heart. He said, you know, if your bull was here, you would have found it. That's all I heard. And I thought, okay, you know, if my bull was here, I would have found it. I was thankful that I got that message from the Lord. He let me know that my bull wasn't there and that I wasn't leaving him behind. I don't know what happened to that bull. Maybe he became food for a black bear sow and her 2 cubs. Maybe he became food for a mountain lion and coyotes and wolves. I don't know. If the bull had died, it wasn't wasted. It went back to the earth where it came from, right? Doesn't make me feel any better. I would have much rather had killed my bull, gutted it, left the guts there, and brought the rest of it home. But it didn't work out. Bow hunting teaches us a lot of lessons, and that's one lesson that taught me. So that's my hunting story for today. This is my bow. This is my setup. I use a Cobra release, a Velcro Cobra release, so I can put it on there as tight as I need to. And I use a Trophy Ridge adjustable sight, and I got the limb saver anti-vibration pads on there, which work real well. And I bought this bow at Jerry's Indoor Archery in Ocala from Shane. Shane's a great guy. He's got a lot of bows in there if you're in the market to buy a bow. I would recommend a Mathews bow, but he has others there as well. But he's got a range there where you can shoot your bow before you buy it. He's got lots of options, and that's what I like. I like lots of options. And listen to those guys; they know what they're talking about. So that's my video for today. I hope you guys are wrapping up your deer season. We're going to be looking at going turkey hunting soon, and it's never too early or too late to get out and shoot your bow. It's a beautiful Sunday, and I love shooting my bow. So we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks. Bye.